In the military, you may be uniform when it comes to the items you wear, however you are distinguished with different rank insignias and markings. I'm going to go over the original specifications for rating and marking insignia for all ranks in the United States Navy according to the 1941 regulations. The rank structure in the World War II Navy could be sectioned into 3 areas: non-rated men, petty officers, and officers. Each of these sectors had vastly different ways of distinguishing their ranks on their uniforms. Let's start with how non-rated men were classified. In this video, I will be referencing specific uniform items. In order to keep this specific to rank insignia, I will not be providing information on these uniform items. I will link a video in the description should you have any questions on these uniforms. A non-rated man was distinguished in 2 ways. The first insignia worn by non-rated men were cuff markings. These cuff markings were worn on the cuffs of their dress jumpers, with a blue coloring for the white dress jumper and a white coloring for the blue dress jumper. A pay grade 7 would wear 1 stripe, a pay grade 6 would wear 2 stripes, and a pay grade 5 would wear 3 stripes. The next distinguishing item was the shoulder braid. Men of the seaman branch would wear a shoulder braid on the right sleeve, white for the blue dress jumper and blue for the white dress jumper. Firemen would wear a red braid on the left sleeve for both the blue and white dress jumpers. Let's move on to the petty officer rank insignias. Now, with the petty officers, there are sort of 2 rank sections. There are the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd class petty officers who wore the same uniforms as the non-rated men, and the chief petty officers who replaced the dress jumpers with a service coat. The 1st and 3rd class petty officers wore 3 stripes on the jumper cuffs, similar to the non-rated men. Chief petty officers did not wear jumper cuffs, so they also did not wear the cuff stripes. Let's look at building a rank insignia for petty officers. We first start with a polygon shape that would serve as the background for this badge. This would be dark blue on the blue uniform and white on the white uniforms. There were also additional uniforms such as the khaki uniforms and gray uniforms afforded to petty officers. For these specific uniforms, everything would remain the same, however the background would match the color of the uniform. On these rating badges, an eagle would be placed at the top. This eagle was white for the blue uniforms and blue for the white uniforms. The specialty marks were placed under the eagle. A specialty mark distinguishes the specific job a sailor performed. This again would be white for blue uniforms and blue for white uniforms. However, the sailors performing the role of a pharmacist mate would wear a scarlet specialty mark. Lastly, the specific rank distinguishment for this badge were the total chevrons adorned. These chevrons would be scarlet for the blue uniforms and blue for the white uniforms. A petty officer 3rd class would wear 1 chevron, a petty officer 2nd class would wear 2 chevrons, and a petty officer 1st class would wear 3 chevrons. A chief petty officer would wear 3 chevrons as well as an arc that crossed above the specialty mark. Those who served 12 years or more, as well as attained 3 consecutive Good Conduct Awards or equivalent qualifications, were eligible to wear gold chevrons. Those who wore gold chevrons were eligible to wear silver eagle and specialty markings in place of the white markings. Chief petty officers would always wear silver eagle and specialty markings even if not eligible for the gold chevrons. Now, this entire rating badge was worn on the upper part of the sleeve. If the sailor was a member of the seaman branch, they would wear it on the right side of the uniform, and all other sailors would wear it on the left sleeve. The last additional thing that sailors would wear were service stripes. These were based on time in service, 1 stripe equating to 4 years of active service in either the Navy or the Navy Reserve. These again were scarlet unless the sailor qualified for the gold rating badge. The last group of sailors to cover are the officers. These are commissioned officers that wore a completely different set of uniforms and had a separate standard for distinguishing rank. The standards include the number and width of stripes on the sleeve, the epaulets, the shoulder marks, and the pin-on devices. There were also markings on their hats, caps, trousers, and belts. The sleeve markings were made of either gold or yellow silk lace. Overcoat sleeve markings were made of black flat braid. Now, the width and amount of stripes were specific to each officer rank, and of course increased with the rank. So the junior grade officers wore 1 or 2 stripes ranging from 1/4 to 1/2 inch width, depending on the specific rank. For mid-grade officers, they wore 2 to 3 stripes again, ranging from 1/4 to 1/2 inch width. Admiral grade officers wore a 2-inch stripe at the bottom, followed by an increased number of 1/2 inch stripes, depending on the rank again. Now, above the sleeve markings, officers would wear a core device distinguishing their duty, similar to specialty marks on the enlisted uniforms. This specific gold star insignia is what a line officer would wear. Officers would also distinguish their ranks on shoulder epaulets.
These had a specific officer rank insignia on them. Ensigns would wear 1 gold bar, lieutenant junior grades 1 silver, and lieutenants 2 silver bars. Lieutenant commanders would wear a gold oak leaf, a commander a silver oak leaf, and a captain a silver eagle. Admiral grade officers wore silver stars, increasing with rank. The epaulette strap would be adorned with a silver foul anchor. To keep this at a general broad overview, I did not go over specific edge cases or edge uniforms in this video, so if you're looking for that specific information, it will all be in the website, which I've linked in the description below.